Arriving aircraft are considered to be those aircraft that have been handed over to approach from area radar. They may be required to report when they have left or have passed a reporting point, or to provide any information that the controller needs to expedite departing aircraft. An IFR flight will not be cleared for an initial approach below the appropriate minimum altitude, unless the pilot has reported passing an appropriate point defined by a radio navigation aid, or the pilot reports that the aerodrome is in sight and will remain as such, or the aircraft is conducting a visual approach, or the aircraft's position has been positively determined by radar, or the controller has the aircraft on radar and a lower minimum altitude is available. At aerodromes with standard instrument arrival (STAR) procedures, arriving aircraft should normally anticipate clearance to follow the STAR. They will also be informed by the approach controller of the type of approach to expect to the particular runway in use. A visual approach is defined as an approach by an IFR flight when either part or all of an instrument approach procedure is not completed, and the approach is executed with visual reference to terrain. An IFR flight may be cleared to undertake a visual approach provided that the pilot can maintain visual reference to the terrain and the reported cloud ceiling is at or above the approved initial approach level for the aircraft so cleared, or the pilot reports at the initial approach level or at any time during the procedure that the meteorological conditions are such that with reasonable assurance a visual approach to landing can be completed. Aircraft separation shall be provided between all aircraft cleared to execute a visual approach, and all arriving and departing aircraft. For successive visual approaches, radar or non-radar separation shall be maintained until the pilot of a succeeding aircraft reports having the preceding aircraft in sight. When this occurs, aircraft shall be instructed to follow and maintain separation from preceding aircraft. Normally, the approach controller will specify the instrument approach procedure, IAP, to be used. However, if the pilot requests a different approach, this may be granted. Should a pilot be unfamiliar with any particular approach, the specific reporting points will be specified to him by the Air Traffic Service Unit. Should visual reference to terrain be established before completion of an IFR approach procedure, the procedure must be executed in any case unless the pilot in command requests and is cleared for a visual approach. Sometimes a particular aerodrome approach is specified to expedite air traffic, but the omission of any specification will indicate that the pilot in command may use any approach procedure that is authorized for that aerodrome. The approach controller controls any holding procedure which is required as part of the arrival procedure leading to an aerodrome instrument approach. This control, remember, may be delegated to a radar controller. All holds will be conducted in accordance with the authorized and published procedures. But listed here are some definitions. The holding fix, the point at which the required minimum, vertical, lateral, or longitudinal separation from other aircraft, according to the navigational system in use, shall be provided. Separation in the hold. When aircraft are being held in flight, the appropriate vertical separation minimum shall continue to be provided between holding aircraft and en route aircraft, while such en route aircraft are within 5 minutes flying time of the holding area, unless lateral separation exists. Holding levels. Levels at the holding fix shall be assigned in a manner that will facilitate clearing each aircraft to approach in its correct priority. Alternate procedures. If a pilot in command advises of an inability to comply with the approach control holding procedure or communications procedure, then the alternative he suggests may be approved if known traffic conditions permit. If the period of holding is expected to be lengthy, jet aircraft may be held at a higher level to conserve fuel and without losing their place in the approach sequence.